Investor conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you've joined us for our next live presentation from Edge Total Intelligence. Edge Total Intelligence provides software solutions that help organizations integrate, visualize, and manage data from multiple systems in real time. Kindly note, attendees may submit questions and view a presenter's availability for meetings by clicking the questions and the book meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Jim Barrett, Chief Executive Officer, and Nick Brigman, Investor Relations of Edge Total Intelligence, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol UNFYF and on the TSXV under the symbol CTRL. Welcome, Jim and Nick.
Greg, thank you very much for having us. I'm always grateful for your including us in these events. As Greg had mentioned, I'm Jim Barrett. I'm the CEO of Edge Technologies, Edge Total Intelligence, Inc. And what I'm doing today is I want to try to educate everyone on what our company does, who we do it for, and why this should be of interest to you. Without further ado, we're going to go through a few slides about the business. There is time for Q&A at the end of this. And if it's something we can't cover, we're happy to set up a separate conversation. So, Edge Total Intelligence, as mentioned, we are a subscription-based software company. We are working in a digital twin space. It's the most rapid or second fastest growing compound annual growth forecast for a technology spend over the next 5 years. It's a software that we are offering an alternative to historic ways of doing business. The alternatives to us are often considered use a very large technology consulting firm, build this yourself, and industry analysts recently have been comparing us to a mini Palantir or an alternative to Palantir. What we are doing here is we are delivering outcome-based success for our clients. These are very large government agencies as well as large commercial clients. We are doing this rapidly. We are doing this in a predictable way, and ultimately we are focused on outcomes for our clients. All right, so what do we do in a nutshell? If you think about your own lives, you are inundated with information. Very few of us say, boy, if I just had more information, my life would be easier. You're now saying, if I had more actionable information that was relevant to me specifically, my life would be better. Well, that's what Edge does. We provide the right information to the right people at the right time so they can act on it. If you look at the screen today, if you look at the screen here, there are many different interfaces. Companies have grown through merger and acquisition. They have new offerings. But at the end of the day, they have many thousands of applications that people are interfacing on a daily basis. And ultimately, they want information that's relevant to them so they can succeed at their goal or mission of the organization. We are taking scenarios that go from this type of scenario, many different interfaces, many different applications. We are going from scenarios like this to this. And we are doing this in 90 days or less. I mentioned originally the alternatives to using Edge. For digital transformation projects, it's a word that people have often heard. There is a success rate of approximately 50%. So we are de-risking what is a very risky solution for our customers. And our customers are very large government agencies as well as Fortune 1000 organizations. Who are some of those customers? We happen to have the world's largest consulting company as a customer in Accenture, ADP, the world's largest payroll and benefits provider. We have the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, who is the world's largest healthcare provider. We have the United States Department of Energy, the Department of Information Technology and Telecommunications for New York City. And what I'm going to do is talk about a few of these use cases, how they're used, and give you some examples of what people receive as a result of doing business with Edge. Just to give you some quick point of views, Edge is the front end of the 911 call center for New York City. As calls come in, we help analyze and triage where is this information coming from, who are the known occupants, where are first responders. As you can imagine, it's a hectic, lives are at stake type scenario. And we are helping them respond to human safety incidents. We've reduced the time to respond by almost 50% by use of our product. In the case of the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, they are fulfilling 500,000 prescriptions per day. So you can imagine there's a lot of information coming in to 12 different, the largest online pharmacy in the world. All of this information is coming in. We are helping them analyze where is the inventory to fulfill these prescriptions, where is staff, where are their non-weather related issues, and we are helping them ensure that they are sending out 99.99% of those 500,000 prescriptions within 24 hours of receipt. In the case of NATO, we are the front end of their cyber situational awareness platform. But I'm going to get into more use and harder numbers of how this works. Here is an example of an organization called Northwind. Northwind is part of a Alaska Native Corporation, approximately $2 billion in revenue. There are 23 business units. They grew through merger and acquisitions, which is, of course, typical. But again, it's a traditional engineering company. And prior to Edge, what they were seeing is the same thing that all clients and all of our people that we speak with want. They've grown by M&A, they have a lot of technology, and they have a lot of people. How can they ensure that they are receiving information that's relevant to the person viewing it, and it's in context that they can quickly make decisions on? And next, it is a way that they can interact with and make changes if necessary. A situational awareness platform for the business, or what others call as a digital twin of an organization. This very use case is what started our coverage with industry analyst Gartner. In the case of Gartner, they're the largest independent technology analyst firm in the world. Over the past 12 months, Edge has received 23 mentions and references by Gartner in this space. I am aware of no other organization in the digital twin space that has received that amount of recognition and notability by independent analysts. So they did business with Northwind. They started noticing this firm. So I'm going to get into why it mattered and what are the hard results. Prior to Edge involvement, they had 12 resources in North America reporting on HR items, finance items. And this information was often at a minimum 2 weeks in arrears. It's only as accurate as the last time someone touched it. And at times it's 2 months. Every organization struggles with this. Any large organization, this is common. This is, I'm not aware of people saying that I completely have this under control and everything is great. But what we first did in a period of 60 days is we allowed them to receive near real-time information from their underlying technology systems. They don't have to replace anything else. We are integrating with that data. They reduced the amount of people providing this information by 90%. They went from 12 people to 2. So it was a significant reduction in time. But like anyone, once you have information, your next statement is, boy, wouldn't it be great if I could combine additional points of information? So what we did is we combined HR information, project management information, job scheduling information through their different entities. And you can look at this, then say, what are our top 10 or top 20 most unbilled outstanding revenue for our projects? What are the technical resources that can result in fulfillment of those projects? An electrician, a geologist, etc. Where are those resources? How do we apply them? So you can combine all these different information sources. You apply it. You then bring those human resources to fulfill the work. And what that resulted in is additional collection of $1.2 million of unbilled revenue. So the net of this is we reduced their cost to receive information by 90%. It went from 2 weeks to 2 months in arrears to live or near live in real time. And we allowed them to pay for our solution 3 times over. All of this was done within 3 months. As of today, this is a client that has approximately 70 integrations, product integrations to their underlying products. with 250 users of the product. The next interesting use case that I could talk about is Edge has been awarded what is called an IDIQ contract with a ceiling of $950 million by the United States Air Force. And before we get too excited, what I want to make clear is, for lack of a better word, this is a hunting license for a ceiling of $950 million. But the reason I bring this up is I want to talk a little bit about our roots. Edge comes from the top secret and intel space. That is where our product started. And we had been used to share information between intel and top secret agencies without storing any of this information. This is very unique to Edge. So if you can think about it, you need to provide information to people doing, national security measures in the United States. Of course, they are very sensitive to the sharing of that information, and we do not store any of it so people can view it. If they have the rights, they can act on it, and we are not storing it. So our system is very secure. Now, how does that expand to today with this contract? The way that it expanded is, I believe there was approximately 2,000 submissions for the award of this JADC2, which is Joint All-Domain Command and Control Battlefield Management System. But in layman's terms, what that means is, how do you share information between different sources on the battlefield, different branches of the military, that can allow them to act in very time-sensitive, life-sensitive situations? And again, the people, believe it or not, don't want to share their secure information, but we are enabling them to see the information, interact with it, and make decisions that are battlefield related. So of these 2,000 submissions, there's approximately 20 organizations selected. Edge was one of those 20. The other people that have been cleared and vetted and selected in this are companies like Microsoft, Cisco, Palantir, household names, and then there's Edge. So we have, that I mentioned earlier, the independent technology industry analyst information. So that vets us of our capability. We have come from the very secure environment, national security matters. And if you can imagine, that is likely not to decrease in future spending and capability needs for the United States government, specific to Department of Defense. So we've been vetted by both large government entities and industry analysts to be selected and work within this space. So again, fastest growing marketplace. We have tier one clients that I've mentioned some of the use cases. I'm using this as an example of a way that we are being selected amongst peers that are significantly larger than Edge. We are considered a safe de-risking alternative to large consulting firms that have a 50% success rate in projects like this. And again, we are compared to a mini Palantir or an alternative to Palantir by industry analysts CB Insights. Again, referencing the marketplace in digital twin, 61.3% compound annual growth. The thing that I'm often asked is, all right, how does this help AI? To us, AI is another data source. Today, Edge has more than 250 out-of-the-box data sources that we can integrate with. If it is something that we do not have built, we can build it very quickly, within hours or days. As an example, a data source would be SAP, PeopleSoft, Workday, ServiceNow, Splunk, large, technology assets that many of our clients have. As that expands, the next thing our clients are asking us, how do we use AI across our organization? Well, we can help with that. And the way we do it is, if you think in your own lives, everybody got a lot of press and interest in ChatGPT. ChatGPT is very good at analyzing information and presenting it on a one-on-one basis. So if you say, I would like to know the 47th president of the United States, his entire biography, that will give it to you very quickly. But if you want to consume this technology across an enterprise, it is not as easy to consume. It's very good one-to-one. And the next thing people ask is, how do I secure this information and make sure that my secure information for my organization is not going out to the world or to these engines? Edge can allow you to consume multiple AI engines, as well as consuming that data across many people. So we secure the data and allow it to be consumed across many people. As AI expands, we are agnostic on any of the products we can work with. And I have a few examples on the screen of some of the companies that we're helping to secure data and be consumed across the enterprise within those organizations. These are references. As myself, I want to speak about my background in the digital twin space and where I'm recognized. Again, I'm Jim Barrett. I am the chair of the Forbes Technology Council Digital Twins Group. We have referenced our Gartner references. We are referenced our speaking references. And we've created an advisory council, which we can get into later. But if you go to our website, www.edgeti.com, we have the reference to our advisory council there. We are bringing industry leaders to help us expand the business based on specific vertical expertise within the industries they represent. All right. Why does this matter? What does this look like? So I'm showing a cap table here. In today's marketplace, I think Edge is a fabulous value. And of course, I'm biased. I am the largest individual shareholder of Edge. We have, if you look at it, we will have two classes of shares, multiple voting shares and single voting shares. As you look at this, you will see that the multi-voting shares are a mechanism to prevent triggering foreign ownership. They have no specific special rights. They are just a mechanism for U.S. shareholders to participate and not trigger foreign ownership. This is a very clean cap table. What you see is what you get here. We do not, it's very closely held between myself. On the U.S. side, it's primarily myself and institutions. We have some institutions in Canada, as well as tightly controlled share structure. As you look at the valuations in the marketplace today, again, I am not aware of a better value to get into a rapidly growing space with the type of customers we offer and what we have. Now, the next thing you want to know is who is here, why are they here? All right, I myself, I've spent my entire career in technology. I have built and exited a few other companies before, both in the product and services sector. I have worked in private equity firms after my last exit, and which is what brought me to Edge. I have run organizations that are up to $200 million in US dollar revenue, and I've done them from zero. I've done two organizations from near zero or zero in revenue and built them to successful exits. Jack Jarman, our Chief Growth Officer, has built subscription software service companies from zero revenue to $150 million in annual revenue. John Palmer, Chief Operating Officer, came from these large consulting shops. He's built and ran $200 million work streams for service delivery. He is very familiar with the offerings and our competitors in the space. Our CTO, Scott Leslie, has come up from the Intel space, security space. Scott and I have worked together at a few different organizations over the years. I was fortunate enough to have Scott lead the technology development within Edge, and he too has led technology organizations that are above $200 to $250 million in revenue. And finally, Nick Brigman, our analyst investor relations person. Nick has run analyst relations for multi-billion-dollar firms representing 60 product lines. I have to give my hats off to Nick through his creation of awareness with these technology analyst firms. These are unpaid recognition that we're receiving in the industry. The important point being, all of these people have done this before. They have the large companies' best practices, yet they can put them to use in practical purpose at an organization like Edge. So I've talked about the industry. I've talked about our clients, our competitors, one of which could be Palantir. We're considered an alternative to Palantir, and the people behind this. Now, I talked earlier about the Industry Advisory Council, and we'll be looking at a few more people to this, but we started that this year, And the idea being is we have a leader in national security here by David Christ. We have Michael Ostrom, leader in digital twins, built digital twins companies from over 100 million in revenue. Tim Faulkner, his DoD background is unparalleled. He has specifically worked in technology for Department of Defense in the Pacific region. As you can imagine, there's a lot of focus for the United States Department of Defense within that region, and that will be the case going forward. Christopher Likewise, he was the previous CEO of Northwind Company. He loved what we do so much. He not only is a client, but he also wanted to get involved in supporting us. Finally, last but not least, we have Mel Wesley. Mel has been the CFO of multiple U.S. listed public companies. He is currently the CFO of an organization called Deepwatch, which is a security firm. It's an AI-based security firm. And I would say for a company of our size, you will not find this type of advisory in place that can help us not only in a practical purpose, but creating vertical focused outcomes for our customers or future customers. So what we are doing in the end is we are providing the right information to the right people at the right time. We are in the digital twin marketplace, so number 1 or number 2 highest forecasted compound annual growth. We have tier 1 customers. We have people who had done this before, and the comparables in the marketplace to us, we're a value. We're a bargain for anyone who likes to invest and wants to invest in our organization. With that, I can open it up to Q&A. Nick, is there any questions that you might be able to present?
Yeah, definitely have some questions for you, Jim. Thank you. That was really helpful. You mentioned a lot of government. I have one here. With changes in the U.S. government and some of the efficiency programs, how do you expect these efforts to impact your business?
All right, thank you. And yes, thank you. All right, so I didn't get to this in the presentation, but with the new administration, we have been interacting with quite a lot. Those conversations have been very positive. To anyone who doesn't have an idea, historically, the way the United States government is contracted, both public, civilian, and defense-related projects, they are not outcome-based. They are based on large consulting shops getting many hundreds of millions of dollars and doing just enough to continue those hundreds of millions of dollars or expand those hundreds of millions of dollars to continue going in the future without really focused on an outcome. We are, again, offering an alternative to that where we are very outcome-based, known cost, known timeline, and known outcome. In my conversations with leadership in the new administration, those days of the past are done. You can see the actions from the DOGE or organization, and I would expect that continue to these large programs that are continue to be funded for $100, $500, $1 billion annually, and people can't point to an outcome. Every conversation I have with anyone is, what is the outcome? What is the outcome your product can bring us? And I think we can deliver outcomes at 1/10 of the price and significantly grow our company. I hope I answered that fairly.
Great. A couple weeks ago, DeepSeek kind of rocked the markets out there with their new approach to generative AI. How do you see that impacting our business?
Well, it's like I mentioned earlier. There's some huge amount of money. It's in one of the previous slides. There's something like 700 organizations receive $800 billion. And I might reference the wrong thing, and I'm starting to sound like Joe Rogan when I'm I'm referencing facts here. But what I would say is the more the merrier. The more organizations that are helping, and technology organizations that are helping people to deliver outcomes, the better it is for us. We are agnostic to any AI platform. And as you can imagine, you're a leader of a large organization. You're very concerned about how you can secure your information and how safe that is. And we can guarantee the safety and security and sharing of that data across the organization properly and securely. Any
Great.
other questions?
Oh yeah, I have a few more. I'm going to combine a couple here because they're co-related. What did you learn in 2024? And what do you want to change in 2025? What are your key milestones for 2025?
Okay. All right. What I learned is the industry is coming to us. You saw the accolades we received in 2024. Again, that's not paid, and I'm happy to see that. It's validating us and helping us to further the cause of winning hearts and minds in the industry and solving problems for our customers. The next thing and on that is what I mentioned earlier. It's outcomes. So we put an advisory board together because I am not an expert in utilities or oil and gas or AI security companies, right? But they all have the same problem that all these other organizations have, especially if it's time sensitive. People need to solve problems quickly. They need to do it with less people. They can't continue to invest in technology, build things, try to field it. And where I want to go in 2025 is, again, I'm focused on outcomes for industry verticals that you can say, we have solved this problem for a utility. It takes this much time. The cost is this. The outcome will be this. Are you interested? We're bringing more packaged vertical expertise through our advisory board and our capabilities. I want to continue to expand on industry recognition, which helps people know we're out there, and then solve outcomes for vertical industries. Hopefully I was clear.
Jim, I think it was clear as it could be. Certainly you have your key milestone update for 2025 coming soon. It's not ready today, yes. But it will be coming shortly, and we certainly encourage investors to take a look at that. I think that covers the key items that I have. Do you see anything special for the Industry Advisory Council? Key things you'd like that group to accomplish?
Yeah, just what I said there. It's outcome based, that they bring vertical expertise from their individual industries, and we want to focus on using them for what they're good at, advising us on what are the big problems in those industries, because the client base that we're trying to serve in those industries likely have they have a ton of technology. The information is there. They don't need to replace what they have. It's a matter of making it usable for leadership in the organization or business lines to solve problems.
Great. Last one I have in the queue. Where do you see, or where would you like the company to be 3 years from now, 2028?
I would say that, number one, we're profitable. We continue to grow. We're known. We're known today. When I speak with people, the first question I get is, how come I haven't heard of you? And the answer is we're offering a strong alternative to risky solutions that are they take years and months to deliver. They're very expensive, and at best they receive a 50% success rate. I want to be known as an alternative in that space for the digital twins to solve actual problems for businesses. And if we can get there, the people will come to us. We'll be known in the industry, and we'll continue to expand upon that. We've got great people, and they'll be able to deliver the solution. I want to be known as an alternative to unlimited spend with half success rate, and that's where I want to be, a leader in the space.
Great, Jim. Those are all the questions that I have for today.
All right. Well, thank you, Nick. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We'll be available for other questions. We'll try to include anyone on further communication as we make progress on these initiatives. And I would encourage anyone to follow EdgeTI on LinkedIn. Thank you again.